Hello, welcome to this first channel Q&A of March 2017. Now there were 3 questions left on my intro video to this series, and I'll just take each month whatever questions happen to be on the previous Q&A's comments. Those are the ones I'll handle, however many there might be today. There's only 3. For those of you who commented, thank you very much. I encourage you to ask anything you really want. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and start with Stolas JC. Now, his question is, where do you want to take your YouTube channel in the next year? Now, this was one I really wasn't expecting. Because as I thought back, I really accomplished everything I had intended to in my first year. I did all the things I had on my checklist. All the different video series I wanted to start. I hit 100 subscribers, which was great. It's one of those nice little goals. But I did it. I did what I wanted to do. I hadn't really thought about what's next. So, what is next? Without sounding trite or almost textbook, I do want to get a little better handle on lighting and sound. I do notice that here I had to replace the lights in my library because the old ones had gone bad. I wanted to upgrade to LEDs and such, but that changes the lighting, and I've had trouble finding the right lighting for my close-up model work and all. And at the shop, there's challenges with lighting because the fluorescence they got overhead, and I don't have any portable lights to bring with me, so I'm going to play in that space. Sound is another issue. The shop's doing great. They've got a lot of gamers there on this weekend, so great for them, but it kind of impacts the quality of the video because there's a lot of background noise, and this camera picks up a lot of sound 360. So I'd like to have more of a directional mic with a lapel mic. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. So those are the things I want to try to focus on from a technical perspective. What I also want to do from a content perspective, though, is I want to actually do more bat reps. That's one of the things that I really enjoy doing. But I haven't had a lot of chance to play games this year, so it feels like I haven't done much. But I want to do more, and I want to get better at them. I want to try to do more cinematic. Still trying to find the right balance between showing the dice rolls and doing the cinematic summaries, the narrative summaries, what have you. Trying to find the right balance between something like Mini Wargaming does and something that like Striking Scorpion does. Which I think is one of the better examples of the cinematics, right? So somewhere in the neighborhood there. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish with the bat reps. Oh, there's one more thing I want to try to do for this year is do more how-tos. Maybe that's just I have to actually film more of my model projects. I don't know. I realized that going over the last year, a lot of how-to videos were in there throughout the year, and I think I don't have any lined up. So I'd like to do more of those. Coming from a fine scale and model background, I don't feel like I have a lot to offer the gaming modeling hobby. Beyond the things I've done about weathering and that sort camouflage, those things those worked, but I'm struggling to find other things. Which another thing is give suggestions. I'm open to those. So that's what I want to do over next year. I think what I'll do for your benefit is. Seriously, for all your benefits, is I'll write down kind of goals, make them, how will I know if I've actually done these? I'll see if I can figure out what's the best way to do that. So that. Thanks a lot, Jolas, JC. Keep me thinking, keep me focused. I appreciate that. Next one's from DM Dave. Now, this one's a good one. Do you think the super heavies take away from a normal, say, 1850 game and should only be used in, say, like apocalyptic battles or stuff like that? Now this, I'm not taking a shortcut answer on this one. I spent a lot of time thinking about this one. Very thought-provoking. And I realized when I look at it, there's really 2 types of super heavies. There's what I call the light super heavies, those with like 6 hull points or wounds or less. And then there's proper super heavies, which are, Bane Blades, Stampas, Titans, stuff like that. The Imperial Knight kind of straddles the border, leaning more toward the light super heavy because it only has 6 hull points. But the reason I want to make the distinction is that I think in 1850 or anything less than 2,000 points, including one of those, super heavies does really wreck the game. It takes what could have been a good game and makes it really very, very difficult to play, because it's hard for an opponent to come up with enough unit options that can handle that. So that, after losing a couple units, they might have no way to answer that big threat. So I think that does take away. But now at 2,000 points or more, I think those lighter super heavies are perfect, but only one of them. Not like the Imperial Knights with their 3. That's their army. I don't think that's good. One is enough in a game of about 2,000 points or more. Anything bigger than that, it should be Apocalypse. That's when you bring in the thousands of points, and both sides have multiple super heavies like that, which can answer each other. They are a good challenge, but in a small game, no. So, Dave, to sum it up, I think they wrecked the game below 2,000 points. Between 2,000 points or above 2,000 points, there should only be one per side, and in 3,000 points or more, like Apocalypse, that's when you should bring the real super heavies. Okay? All right, so thanks for the question. Now, the last one, ended up being 3, is from Idig Beer. So you've been in the hobby a long time. What was your first ever model kit? Also, what made you start your YouTube channel? Well, I asked for a clarification about whether he meant first ever model kit or first 40K model kit. And he said, well, why not both? So, the first ever model kit that I built myself was actually a monogram snap type model of a Tiger 1 tank, Panzer 6. It was my introduction to model building. My mom had been kind of building models for me to kind of help me, open my eyes to it. And she built my dinosaurs. I had an insect and reptile amphibian science thing. I had a Godzilla, a glow in dark head and stuff like that. So I loved all that. So I wanted to do model building, but I wasn't old enough. I mean, I was little when she was doing that. So when I got old enough to tackle a kit like this, I got the Tiger tank and built it. And from there on, it just progressed. I got into planes, trains, automobiles kind of thing. Mostly armored fighting vehicles and planes. Now, as it comes to 40K, my first actual kit was the Assault on Blackreach set. I did the Orcs. My son got the Space Marines, I got the Orcs. But if it comes to a single kit, a single model kit for 40K, that would end up being probably a Lehman Russ, the Annihilator I built. I'm pretty sure I built that before the Chimeras that I got them all kind of together. So that's the 40K first model kind of thing. Now, what got me to start my YouTube channel? This is interesting because it's not a short story. It's not a novel either, but I've spent many hours watching YouTube channels of various types, learning the game and trying to learn tactics and pick up ideas and tips, especially painting, because again, fine scale modeler, different paint style than what you see now in the gaming, and so I had a lot to learn there. I'm still learning that stuff. And in a couple of different cases, I was watching like Mini Wargaming, Mini Wargamer J Knight, Dragon Scorpion, end up stumbling upon Wargamer Fritz? I think that's what it goes by now, and Idig Beer. And then in the process, noticed I started catching on to the concept of giving back to the community. And I had realized that I actually had something that I could give. Not necessarily I got something special over here I want to share, but one of the things that was neat is we have in the Central Illinois area a lot of cool gamers and nice paint jobs, nice armies. I wanted to kind of get that out there. So figure better ups, And I also had this huge conversion list of my Exodites, In my area, there isn't a lot of interest in doing Exodites. So what I wanted to do is get that information out further. I did put some information out on the forums, but didn't seem to get a whole lot of reviews or replies, so I thought YouTube would be a good way to do that. And that'd be a way of giving back. So it was something that was kind of a cool idea, but until I actually saw Nick do it, Idig Beer, I realized you don't need to have like the fancy equipment like Mini Wargamer J or Mini Wargaming has. all of the high fancy stuff. You can get by with relatively simple equipment. So 2015 Christmas, my wife got me a camera, and 2016 on February 26th, first video got published, and you've watched it progress since then. So thanks, Nick, for kind of showing the way, being sort of a pathfinder there, and I hope that I am giving back value to the community. That's the whole goal of this channel. So thank you all for your questions. Again, if you have questions for me to address in April's version, please comment below. Share this with your friends and invite them to ask questions, right? These videos are only going to be successful, obviously, as long as there are questions. So thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.